How's it going, guys? Welcome to Dice Check. This is going to be a new, hopefully new, brand new, improved version of a D&D podcast talk show that my good friend Morvar, who is also the one in charge of this, will be hosting. I'm Zach. I'm going to be going by Zen for the rest of this. How are you guys doing? Let's get into it, shall we? So,
he said it all.
Background experiences. I have been DMing since I started, which was approximately a year and a half ago. I know, not a lot, but it's enough to learn. It's enough to experience, and hopefully it's enough to share insight and maybe learn from each other. I focus completely on 5th edition, which is amazing, by the way. It's a great... I chose it.
Like everybody's.
Yeah, I chose it because it's the perfect one to introduce people in, I feel. Yeah, it's simple.
It's like really easy.
It is. Oh, it's so nice. I got into it watching a couple of things. I actually got into it because a friend recommended me I look into it from a game of Munchkin, which, as you all know, is weird because that's not how you make friends.
Yeah. That's definitely not a very friendly game.
After that, I started looking into Critical Role. I started looking into D&D Still was actually, I think, the first one. Titan's Great. A lot of Geek and Sundry stuff is the reason I'm a DM, to be honest. More?
As is mine. Yeah, you guys know me. You guys have seen me on the channel quite a bit. I recently got into D&D maybe like a year and a half ago, maybe. And I actually found out that that I would be happier DMing, and so I ran a campaign once before, and it didn't turn out very well, but the campaign that I'm running right now has been quite an experience, to say the least. And, yeah, so, we're going to be talking about some D&D stuff.
Yeah, man, let's get into it! Woo! That was a high five.
Yeah. An attempted high five.
Yeah. But let's get into some sources. Like, I know that you and me look at the same stuff, a lot of because I started DMing first, so you came to me asking for some things. Yeah. Remember that giant Facebook where it's like, oh my god, my friend is being a DM. You
Yeah.
need to do this. You need to look at this.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, like I said, I started a lot with Critical Role, and I got really into it. At first, it was, like most people, it was very off-putting watching people role play.
Yeah, like whenever you first told me that you guys were playing D&D, I literally had the thought, I was like, oh my god, my friends are LARPing.
Which is, it's very funny because I thought that had the same mindset before, guys. So before my friend asked me to look into it, I'm like, I don't really want to do this.
Yeah, it's like,
It's like,
what?
I never was a theater guy. My school didn't even have theater. I don't think I'd like it.
We didn't even have a stage at ours.
Amen to that, man. We had both, I think, a cornfield.
We had a show where people like took apart lawnmowers. That was our theater.
That's better than us. But so that was a lot of it, where both of us came from a mindset originally where we weren't interested. But it ended up, once you really get into it, you figure out what you love. What I love about D&D is there's something in it for everybody.
Uh-huh.
If you're artistic, you have world building, you have character development, portraiting.
It's such a malleable experience.
It really is. And you can, like you said, malleable, because you can kind of carve into it what you want.
Yeah.
I, completely out of the blue, have learned that I really enjoy map making.
Yeah. Those days of us playing around and Forge, Halo, and just making maps like all the time. I think that like really contributed to
most
towards
definitely.
it.
Well, a gamer background in general, I think, helped.
Oh yeah,
like you and me both. We always grew up with games, RPGs a lot.
Yeah.
Beat 'em ups, hack and slashes, a lot of RPGs, good stuff.
Yeah.
And that's especially character creation is a big thing for me in games. So being able to make NPCs constantly.
Yeah.
And make them just try and make them fit in how are uniquely in the world is just so much fun.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like it's always like really fun to just kind of have your own like universe to just kind of like put whatever you want into and just kind of throw all caution to the wind and just kind of have fun with it.
Put it like this: if Minecraft can become popular for making a world, D&D could do it because it's been doing it for since the 80s?
Actually, I think from the 70s.
I'm terrible with history. You know me.
Like, I think it actually... I'm pretty sure it came out in the 70s. Because before that, it was Middle Earth.
Well, yeah, RPG. It's Tolkien. It was Tolkien. Matt Colville, shout out to Matt Colville, who's another inspiration of mine.
Yeah, you rock, dude.
He's gonna see this.
Well,
no,
I mean,
he talked about it. He talked about how originally this game was a lot of war games, such as World War games, diplomacy, and whatnot. And then there's the Tolkien world that was freshly becoming very popular, and then somebody merged them too. That person being Gary Gygax.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Basically, if you haven't know anything about D&D, or even more, you're questioning why you'd be interested into it, think about what you enjoy. Yes. Do you enjoy a kind of getting everybody to work together kind of game? Mm-hmm. D&D that's the whole point, is getting a group of people together and working together, solving problems together, working hand in hand, building off each other. Yeah,
it's very much like the textbook example of a team building exercise.
If you like A-Team, this is pretty much nerdy A-Team.
Oh man.
You got Baracus as like a half-orc barbarian.
Oh my god.
You're never going to be able to unsee that, huh? You're never going to be able to unsee that, are you?
For the Horde, fool! Oh my god.
Yeah, let's go with that, sure.
Oh my god, that... Mr. T is a fucking orc. Oh my god.
But it's
Holy
actually
shit.
pretty cool. And another one of the big misconceptions that D has, it's a lot of math. It's a lot of nerd games because it's a lot of math involved. It's a lot of, +6 because I'm downed and what. No, it's none of that. It is math, but if you've finished elementary school, you should have no problem.
I mean, if you can cheat on a math test, you can play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Literally, it's basic mathematics, just +2, +5, -6, stuff like that.
And in my case,
and half of that's thrown out with 5th edition.
In my case, all I have to do if I have a complicated dice roll, all I have to do is just type it in and just press enter.
Yeah, because he's on Roll20, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
That was another thing we wanted to talk about. He is an online DM. I'm an in-person DM, so we're going to have a very cool contrast and cooperation with that. There's going to be probably a couple of times where we're going to argue because we're very outside of each other's field. But I think that's going to be a really fun dynamic to this.
Yes.
So I'm really excited for that. Which we are going to hit on later, but this is mostly an introduction episode. Hi, by the way.
Yeah, guys. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy what's coming your way. Alright, so what are we going to talk about first, my friend?
Let's talk about, we did talk shit on this, and let's go ahead and finish this up before we go into anything else. Our inspirations and sources. Geek and Sundry, pretty much all of their D&C stuff, I've looked up into. I've watched a good bit of Matt Colville. Mm-hmm. I'd say that I follow him as much as I do Matt Mercer and their advice. I did some research, and I finally found Chris Perkins' old diary, D&D recaps and diaries.
Uh-huh.
Those are really good because those aren't just about DMing, they're also about just DM skills. He even has an entire chapter about map making, where I first learned how to make maps in old school paint.
Wow.
Which, I'm not gonna lie, the first map I ever did from that looks like a Nickelodeon cartoon. I mean, I'm not even being sarcastic, and I might send you a picture so you could pop it up somewhere on this. It looks very much in the same color context of an old school Nickelodeon cartoon.
Well, I mean, everybody's got to start somewhere.
Oh, of course. But I mean, now I'm having a lot of fun. I'm using a lot of higher sources like Don John. And I'm literally taking a bunch of maps, cutting out chunks of it, and just puzzling, piecing back together.
Yeah, that freaking map that you showed me the other day, it was so badass looking.
It really is. And it's got this I like that one a lot because it has this really natural painted look. It looks like somebody painted it by hand in places. It's got just a really cool artistic look, and I'm very happy with it. I definitely want to use that in a future campaign.
Yeah. For me, of course, with Geek and Sundry, and I mean, you've heard it 1,000 times.
How do you want to do this?
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah. But honestly, what really got me to play D&D was actually just that one-off that I did with you guys. That was like, oh my god, this is fucking amazing.
So we have to explain this. That was such an interesting night.
Oh my god.
We all got together at a nice little hotel, just a bunch of, kind of like a mini high school reunion with our friends. Just 10 of us that we haven't hung out in a long time because of college and jobs and whatnot, as most people do. And we're all like, yeah, man, let's go. And somebody asked me, it's like, hey, man, can you do a one-off for us and kind of really show us? Because you always been, like, on the fence at that point.
Yeah,
and
especially, like, whenever you guys said that you roleplay, that's when I was like...
Yeah.
It's like...
Like
what?
But it was really funny, so I kind of was thinking, I had about, 2 days prep time, just kind of think of what I want to do, and it's like, okay, what can I do that is both easy enough for people that have never done it to be introduced into it, and fun enough for the guys who already have playing with me, who will also be there, to also have fun with it, and also maybe have some extra practice. I thought, Goblin characters.
Oh, man.
So... a lot of people ended up leaving last second on the party, so ended up DMing for 3 of you. You, our friend Jacob, who, by the way, has given permission to use his name, and our friend Scott. And they were a couple of goblins. I'm not going to say which, but let's just say that one of the goblins might have had a little drink beforehand, so he was really... to use some 5, he had a couple... things of inspiration. But they all played goblins. I can't remember your goblin's name, but I'll never forget Jacob's. Jacob's was Bing Bing, the goblin. Just this real hardcore, in-your-face goblin who ended up at the end of the one-off, had a giant scash X strewn across his chest. And in this about 1 hour game, he fell so in love with Bing Bing that he came up to me afterwards like, hey, listen, Zen, you need to put this in our game. Like, I don't care what, I will pay you, but Bing Bing needs to be in our game. I want to interact with this guy. And all he did for roleplay was just run up to people and shout his name. Bing Bing!
That's usually like the most entertaining characters, just the most simple ones.
Yeah. You surprised me the most though, because you got the most in-depth one with your Shadows of Mordor pretty much, let's skull fuck them.
Yeah. Oh man, I'll never forget that night. My character's name was God, what was his fucking
I just said I don't know. Don't look at me.
I think I named him Bloita or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And the other guy, Scott, I remember now. As a joke, he decided to go with a fun little kind of secret NPC enemy. Nilbog, Goblin backwards, was his name.
Oh my god, from Troll 2. Oh my god.
Yeah, Nilbogs, if you don't know, they're pretty fun in game.
Yeah.
Not to spoil, but you can't kill them by normal methods. Anyway.
And like just that night, like just like the craziness and just the insanity and just the amount of like stuff that you can do, like anytime that I have like a friend that doesn't play Dungeons and Dragons but plays video games, I'm all like, but give it a chance. Yeah. It's like,
especially if you play a modded video game.
Like, oh yeah, like
if you mod, then you're really gonna get into it.
Oh yeah, like not without a fucking doubt, man. Like most PC gamers that I know, like, all play with mods, and they would all like really enjoy, especially since like these days, getting access to playing D&D games is so much simpler. I mean, I've said this like off camera before, but and this is gonna sound kind of controversial, but Roll20 is basically the Facebook for freaking for like D&D like nerds that just want to.
It's becoming real popular too. Like Roll20 is really booming, as is all of D&D lately.
Like it's crazy because you know, 20 years ago, like everybody would have been. Like, we would have all been beaten up for this kind of thing.
There was a big stigma with it.
Yeah.
There was a big psychological, social stigma about it where it was really uncool and almost taboo to be playing D&D. That's why a lot of people left the game.
Oh, yeah.
Because growing up, it's like, I can't be 25 and be in my mom's basement playing this. That was the stigma. That was a false stigma and very much a bad stereotype.
Oh, yeah.
But it's evolved since then. People who have never thought of playing D&D are now playing D&D.
Yeah,
people, I mean, we're examples of that.
Yeah, like
people who I've met people randomly in college classes who just happen to hint at playing D&D, and they're like, and I'm like, you playing D&D? It's like, yeah, man, Pathfinder, what's up? Oh, no, I'm kidding. Pathfinder's fun though. Yeah. But even a teacher of mine had actually played a one-off. A professor of mine, which blew me out of the water.
Wait, he played a one-off with you guys?
No, I wish. That'd be funny.
I was gonna say, like, what the fuck?
Well, no, he had some D20 in his office when I was talking to him about a project, and I'm like, I've seen those. What are those for again? You know, playing stupid a little bit kind of gives you some information. And well, originally he actually does play a lot of Magic the Gathering, but him and his wife did play a one-off, and he went on talking about how his wife was a thief who stole the party's entire money reserve, and classic shenanigans.
Oh goodness!
But it's surprising, really, in our society nowadays, the kind of people who you'd never expect to be playing Dungeons and Dragons are playing Dungeons and Dragons. Even celebrities are being a big thing. Vin Diesel,
yes,
hardcore Dungeons and Dragons player. Dylan Sprouse from Zack and Cody.
Oh yeah,
did
you see his interview on Dungeon Life?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of him. He's really cool.
I was watching the video and then I was like, I used to laugh at you whenever you were in Zack and Cody. Now I'm laughing at you as a slightly mature adult. What the fuck kind of shit is?
Yeah. Him and Deborah Wool, who is the main actress in the Marvel series Daredevil, they both have their own thing with Matt Mercer.
No kidding.
Yeah, Force Grey. They actually just started season 2.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's it's already recorded. It's like 30-minute episodes.
Yeah.
But it's good stuff. And recorded doesn't mean scripted. So it's really good. They've actually wrote a lot of natural ones. It's some really good stuff though. And it's really cool to see people that we grew up with watching on TV.
Yeah, and it's they're now like we're still watching them as adults.
Yeah.
But in a completely different way.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a whole different viewpoint and facet into the makeup of a person, which is what in its roots D&D is. It's about empathy. It's about putting yourself into a completely different person's perspective and views and learning how they feel. Right. That's the whole makeup of role-play and theater. Is empathy. At its heart.
Which... That's another thing that we wanted to talk about was role playing.
Oh,
so as DMs, we role play a lot.
Well, yeah, and you don't have to role play.
You don't have to, but let's be honest.
But it's kind of pushed onto you.
It's only fun, like if you really.
I will say this: there's no wrong way to role play. There's no right way. And that's when people say it's like, oh, you're not role playing. I actually. Fun story, a person who I've DM'd for, they have a hard time doing voices just because of their makeup. They just have a hard time changing their voice. It's very physically taxing on them.
Yeah.
And that can register to some people as them not role-playing.
Yeah.
Because you just hear their own voice.
Like, everybody has, their own style.
They're also a very introverted person, so they don't use hand gestures a lot.
Yeah.
So you typically just see them talking normally. They're actually one of my best role players. They get so into their character, and it's surprising. They play a very studious character, someone who kind of secretly thinks they're slightly above everybody else, and you can kind of tell that just subtly, and it's really neat to watch them. So it's interesting. I have another guy who is very much the, and again, this is another shout out, very much the Grog Strongjaw character.
He's just Arendir?
Yeah, he just plays this really hardcore dwarf, just in your face. His most common phrase is just a shouting of him, just ah.
Yeah,
like it's and he gets really into that, and he loves it.
Who might also be on the show one day.
Yeah, guys, we might have guests coming in, so yeah.
Oh no, not might. We will have guests. It's just a matter of when.
I say might because we have to go through them. Excuse me, are you busy? Let me talk to my agent. Let me check my calendar. And then there's gonna be gonna be the old guy. It's like, oh yeah, let me check my schedule. Whack it. I can check off this.
Yeah, I don't need to go to that family gathering. Let me go talk about Dungeons and Dragons for like an hour or something.
Yeah. But role playing is a pretty big facet. It's just like anything, you can take it out or you can put it in more. Just like anything, like I said, this game is a living module.
Yeah.
And that you can do whatever you want with it. There are people, did you know, pausing real quick, there are people who have entire texting campaigns. Like, they literally just, email each other.
Like a West Marches type of game?
Yes and no. No, but, they'll have entire campaigns done only via email. So there's only, written role play.
That is weird. I can't imagine how that would work.
It works. I mean, it's been done for quite a long time.
I mean, I guess if you had a group discussion thing to where everybody interacts with all at once, but
that's some ways. I don't know the hardcore specifics on it. I've never had a chance to try it out. I've been blessed that all the people want to do it in person, which is what I like to do the most.
I prefer to have everybody around the table, but Roll20 is definitely a worthy substitute for it
Oh,
because you still have the social reaction that you want. It's just
you actually have some bonuses that in person can't give you with Roll20.
Yeah.
Like if somebody can't make it in my game, they could still make a Roll20 game.
Mm-hmm.
They could also, I mean, you can meet completely new people from Roll20. You can still do that, obviously, with in person.
I've definitely met some characters.
Sounds like it, but that's good. That's what it's fun about this, is meeting the different people of this world.
Yeah. Because, I mean, D&D at its core is a social experiment.
Totally.
Experience, not experiment.
Both in its own way.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's very much an experiment when you do, all right, well, here's a Bahir. Let's see what happens. That's an experiment, scientifically.
Shit. One last thing that I want to touch on before we wrap up here is so I got this idea from you, the use of music in the campaign. I
don't use very many physical atmospheric things because I'm kind of in the southern version of my parents' basement. It's an old converted workout building that has been thrown out and put in a bunch of benches and tables. So I don't have the visual atmosphere. Mm-hmm. So I compensate with a audio atmosphere. I have a giant Bluetooth speaker in one corner that I'm allowed to just play music off of. The cool thing about not Twitch streaming your things is that you can copyright music and play it. Like, that's not a big thing as long as it doesn't go public. You don't have to worry about
the copyright witch hunt.
Yeah. We'll have an entire segment on some awesome music choices to go through for various things, but I have tons of playlists on my phone using gigabytes upon gigabytes of data for all kinds of different instances when I need something peaceful. Like, just a happy little stroll from city to city, or maybe something spooky. Yeah. Something where it's like, they're reaching into the darkest, deepest parts of their mind.
Oh, that track that you showed me, like, with the spiders and shit. Ooh, God.
It's just a bunch of plucking strings, but it gives off the atmospheric vibe of just a bunch of spiders crawling on you. And that builds this tension naturally. Yeah. Without having to say anything. One of the biggest things writers always say is that if you can give a reaction or if you can give off information with as little words as possible, then you're doing something good. That also transfers into D&D. If you can give off a particular feeling, or if you can give off a particular emotion, or if you can give off a certain mindset without describing anything or saying anything, and then describe it and say stuff to further tack it on, it's going to really build up into this amazing snowball of, oh my God, this is real. And then it becomes a LARPing thing like you originally thought.
Yeah. Almost, man.
A good example of this, if you don't mind, I also incorporate texting. I incorporate texting a lot for
with the
telepathy, especially.
With well, I don't know if we should.
I'll spoil it a bit. My players just found out what an elder brain was, which is pretty much this Cthulhu kind of creature that is all about telepathy. And good old Arendir, the big old hardy-darty dwarf, was among many of the party in its base. Well, it can communicate and locate you telepathically. And Arendir is not very, let's just say, mind shielded.
Yeah.
Like, that's his weakness, is mental stuff. So I was just texting him conversations, one-sided conversations from this elder brain to him, saying how it was looking for him. And in his mind, his own mind, he kind of built it up as, this thing is looking for me. I have no means to stop it, and I have no means to fight back until it's too late.
Which actually intimidated the actual player, and not just the character.
People were wondering, like, why is he so freaked out? And then he showed in the text, like, dude, you're evil. I'm like, hey, it's my job. But no, it came up with this really cool thing of this cat and mouse game that he invented for me. And that's why he was like, okay, I gotta move. And he didn't stay in one place very long. He kept moving, thinking that would slow it down. And it was this just really cool atmosphere of this one cat and mouse game that the player came up with.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about ambiance, and it's all about invoking feelings. For me personally, I didn't really get a chance to do it much in my last game, but in my first game, whenever we all started playing for the first time, my first Roll20 game, so I mean I was already nervous, but anyway,
we all
One thing that I found really effective is of course, like, with the advent of Roll20, your music selection is going to be a little limited. I mean, Roll20 itself, like, has, like, a library of royalty-free tracks, which are all by, Kevin MacLeod and all that other stuff,
Kevin
which
MacLeod.
is, or whatever, however the hell you pronounce it. But, Mr. McLeod, I'm sorry if you're watching this.
We like your stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. But to me, like, it only, like, you can only, like, really get the true feeling if, like, well, at least I feel that I can only get across, like, a certain feeling if I look through video game tracks. For my intro, like, I guess you would call it, like, a cinematic or whatever. It was basically just like a blurb of text that I would read to the players to kind of get them
just a giant Star Wars thing.
Yeah. Oh man.
What did I sign up for? Well, it's fine because I had to do that verbally. I had to do the same thing. It's just I had to do it speaking. So I mean, that's perfectly fine.
Like while I was reading the intro, I had I don't know if you guys know what a bot is, but basically, we all communicate through Discord, and on Discord you can actually assign music bots, which bots, like, all they do is just they perform a single function, like, for the sole purpose of whatever.
Yeah.
And I got this music bot to play the Tristram theme. I don't know if you've ever heard it, but it's like this very it's from Diablo 1. It's like a very like slow, like ambient. It's got like guitar in the background.
Maybe. I did look into a lot of Diablo music when I was trying to build my own stuff, but I can't think of it off the top of my head.
And my players, yes, like one of my players, in fact, yesterday was all like, yeah, this was fun, but it doesn't even compare to like the first 10 minutes of the first game. Like they were all like taken aback, like with they said that like with me narrating it and that track, they're like we're in this.
Oh yeah,
we're fucking in this.
That's the whole point of the DM, is to try and make it real.
Yeah.
All right, that's one of your signs of success, when the players are invested to the point of it's becoming reality for the time being. Don't let it become reality out of the game. That's how stuff gets a little movie kind of in horror scenes. But when they're thinking of it as a real thing, then they start reacting to it as if it was real. They start taking stuff extremely seriously. Or they start taking it as their character would do it. Because seriously and how their character would do it can be very different things.
Yeah.
My good old Aaron Deer, he's just going to be the talk of the town. He's a very much a sacrifice for the greater good kind of guy. He's jumped off a cliff to save a friend. That's not something you do if it's real. But it's something that he was so invested in the reality of the moment, that he thought his character would sacrifice himself if he could save his friend. Now, obviously, he didn't have like a parachute or anything. This is classic fantasy D&D. But in his mind, he thought he can grab the guy or get to the guy, and right before he hits the ground, he can do the old classic thing where you take your weapon and carve it into the mountain.
Classic.
He's got the strength for it, so it's possible.
Yeah, he could do that. And it's a good sign that if your players believe what you're, if they pick up what you're laying down, that's when you know that you've done something right.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's unlike any experience in the world.
Oh, it really is. There's nothing cooler to watch people playing in your sandbox and marveling at it. It's such a feeling of just, it's like, such a release of endorphins.
Here's my world.
Yeah.
I'm letting you play in this.
Yeah, and
Go ahead
it's
and have
such
fun.
A release of endorphins. You just watch and it's just like, this is why I do this.
It's almost like if you like draw, like if you're a little kid and like you draw something for your parents and like you show it to them and they're like, wow, I'm gonna put that in the fridge. It's almost like that level of like just like, oh my god, this is awesome. Like they actually like it.
I'll take your word for it. All I could do was scribbles. So it's like after the 13th exact same scribble, like, okay, yeah, this is cool. I'm just gonna put it on top of this one instead of because I'm not an artistically well-developed person. All right, that's one of my weak points is I can't draw very well. Now this could change. I might get lucky, and I find ways to work around this. Like I said, I mold it. I use a lot of computer stuff when I need to be artistic. And I have players who are very forgiving on that because they understand that I can't be good at everything. I don't want to be good at everything because then I lose in touch with the humane part of being a DM.
Words to live by.
Yeah. One of the things that I want to make sure that everybody watching this understands is you guys can challenge us. Like, I've probably been wrong in this video already a bunch of times. Very experienced people probably have very differing opinions from me.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, the main thing I want to leave out is every person and every DM and every single thing about D&D is different from one each other. His game and my game are very different regardless of the medium. We could be playing the in-person game in the same building, just in different rooms, and they will turn out 100% different from each other. Even if we use the same map. Hell, even if we use the same plot.
Yeah.
Let's just both run a Tolkien game and just see where it ends us. Guarantee you, half the players are turned into zombies, half the players got eaten by dragon. You never had a zombie in my game, never had a dragon in your game. Bam.
Yeah. That's
D&D, man. It's a living thing.
Pretty much it, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. We're gonna go ahead and cut this one here.
This is really fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this a lot, man.
Yeah,
High five.
This is awesome. I like this a lot.
If you enjoyed this, man, make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment. I'm going to personally try to start commenting. I'm going to try and get my old YouTube account finished so I can start commenting because for some reason my current one can't comment. And I want to hear from you guys. Like, if you have comments, if you have questions, if you have critiques, I love not arguing, but I love discussion. I don't want us to turn into a yelling contest. I want to just turn this into...
This guy loves to talk.
I do, and it's very apparent. Yeah. All right, well, we'll see you guys next time. Have a day for me. EJ, take us home.
See you guys next time.
That was amazing!